So a couple days ago, I responded to an Instagram post that was written by what I assumed at the time was just a naive but unaware of their own lack of knowledge hair salon owner that was discussing the why salon owners who recruit stylists from other salons are called poaching, whereas it's a really common practice in other industries, and we need to normalize. We need to normalize the practice and stop vilifying these salon owners because it's just a normal behavior in the professional world. So I just commented and I said, yeah, except be like those other professions that you're comparing us to, and assume that there is a non-solicitation clause in place, and don't let them bring their clients, because that's the way those other professions operate. Because and by the way, and then this person, the way they responded was with, you're one of those fearful salon owners, you're just afraid, and nobody can control clients. And the first of all, the fearful thing was like, that part was new to me, but the nobody can control clients is like such the most base, so uneducated, so unthoughtful, so uncurious thought process regarding clients and salons and hairdressers in employee-based business. Because I'm not talking about you renters right now, okay? Renters, I don't give a shit. You guys can poach each other's renters all day long. You should. That's the way it is supposed to be, right? Because there's no gray area with that. But when it comes to employees, there is gray areas. And so what I was saying is those other professions that you're comparing us to all have contracts in place regarding the clientele, and they're usually pretty strict. And then the person responded like, oh, I'm afraid. First of all, woman, I'm not afraid of anything. I have been through everything. 28 years of salon ownership, of developing talent and building businesses. I've opened 13 hair salons. We built our team to a staff of 50 without ever hiring somebody with a book, by developing talent. So get serious. Fearful. I've been through it all, and I've seen people come and go. And one of the things that I always say, that if you build your business off of the backs of disgruntled employees from another place, you got nothing. It's a short business. And there's a reason that most salons go under. There's a reason that the salon today, the popular salon today, 10 years from now, will not exist. Or they'll be hanging a chair for rent sign in the window and being desperate to try to get staff. So, but that's off topic. But anyways, this person responded with such venom and aggressiveness and non-curiosity that it just made, and she was too old, gray hair and looking like my age. So too old to be speaking like somebody who's not lived, right? Who's not seen both sides, who's not developed the maturity to be quiet and see both sides of a conversation, and to even have a conversation. So anyway, I look at other industries and I compare, because one of her idiot followers, I don't want to say followers because that implies this person has a following, which she doesn't, but one of her idiot followers, right? Yeah, I have a client who's a nurse, and she says that they get recruited all the time. Well, nurses aren't trying to bring patients with them. Okay, so like, grow up, you people. So let's talk about industries that do bring clients with them. Lawyers, do you think the law firms don't have a non-solicitation, an ironclad non-solicitation clause in place? Lawyers, accountants in a big accounting firm. Let's talk about industries that are professional, that deal with recruiting and headhunting, that also deal with client relationships, because a lot of these don't. A lot of these people are hiring talent. They're not trying to lure people with a clientele. Obviously, there are shady things. Lawyers would be one of them. There are workarounds. But believe me, every big law firm that takes on an articling student and then develops them into a junior and then works their way up, believe me, there are contracts in place that do not make it easy for them to walk out with a clientele. And we don't do that in hair salons, okay? Because we generally don't play those kinds of games. We want happy staff and we try to take care of people, but if you want to leave, leave. So we don't play those games. But that doesn't mean that you, as the salon owner, that DM people, slipping into those DMs and asking staff of another business to leave, and you want their book. You don't care about them. You want their book. You want them to bring their money into your business because A, you suck and you don't have enough business yourself. And B, you suck so hard. Kind of like A, really. Because you're not developing a team. You don't have a business. You don't have a business. You have a room with some chairs in it that you're expecting other people to bring you their business. How pathetic. What a pathetic business. So anyways, and I was pretty calm in my responses at this point, despite what you're seeing now. But she came at me so hard. And then somebody else commented and said, there are tons of business, or many businesses that are recruiting. I said, name three. Name three that don't have a contract in place. And that person didn't respond. And again, this idiot on her Instagram, she must have followed me, but she unfollowed me. But she starts talking about my fear again, and she hopes that I can smile. I smile all the time, man. I smile because I sleep at night. You sleep at night because you're a sociopath and you refuse to look in the mirror and refuse to see how you impact people. I smile because I don't impact other salons in a negative way by trying to lure away their staff. Because when you're trying to lure away somebody's staff, not only are you doing that, you're actually impacting somebody else's business in a negative way. You are trying to hurt somebody. That's what you're doing. And that's where you're a scumbag. And there's a word for beings, or for a life force that survives off of the work of the life of another being. And that's called a leech. And that's what you are. You're a leech. You're a taker. You're not a giver. Now, I'm a giver. I give by taking people out of hairdressing school and putting my time in and developing that talent and dealing with the recolors and dealing with the recuts and training them and dealing with the drama of the first year to 2 years of a young hairdresser's life before they're able to stand on their own feet. I'm the one doing the hard work. I'm the parent. I'm the parent raising the baby, doing the diaper changes. And then you're going to come along once all the hard work is done and try to take my staff. You're a piece of shit. There's no other description for what you are. So leech is gonna leech, but I would hope that in the leech world, in the pea brain of the leech world, at least leeches know they're leeches. And the hairdresser that tries to justify, the salon owner that tries to justify their shitty behavior by saying it's just recruiting, no, it is poaching. It is leeching. You are a taker. And you're a piece of shit. That's all it is. So I'll tell you this. I once had, because it happens to me, there's some scumbag about 5 minutes from my salon who reaches out to my team on a regular basis trying to lure them, because he has nothing to offer in terms of a business other than a nice room in a decent location. But he has nothing to offer us. So I've had 2 people leave to go to this guy. And I just think, oh, this guy's such a scumbag, because he's reached out to my staff all the time and they always tell me. But I had 2 people leave, and frankly, one of them was living with one of my other employees and they had a falling out. So that person needed a change of scenery anyways, and she was a little bit naive. She lasted there maybe 18 months with this guy before she left. And then I had another one who, she started getting a little bit of ego, and she didn't really realize that while we have hard conversations because you're a new developing talent in my business and it's not going to all be roses, that she didn't realize that I do actually care about her And I had her best interests at heart. And not only did she leave him within a year, she also left the industry. Whereas if she had stayed with me, she would have stayed in the industry. But she, we will give people another opportunity if they come back to us occasionally, depending on the person. I've had lots of people leave that I wish would come back, and I've had lots of people leave that I'm like, you're going to stay gone even if you begged. Not because I don't like the person, but them leaving was better for our business and better for the dynamic in our business. And sometimes you don't need to give a second chance. I have no animosity. I have zero animosity towards anybody who's left my business. But I'll say this. We once had an employee who I absolutely loved, and I was very close to, and I deeply love this person. And it did break my heart when he left. But it was kind of going down a road where there was some negativity and communication had broken down. And it wasn't 100% my fault, and it certainly wasn't 100% his, but we never had like the heart to heart, which we should have had. And he went and he reached out to the best salon in the city. And I'm friendly with those people, or at least I was. And one of the things that they said to him is like, yes, we will take you on, and yes, we will give you this opportunity, but we also don't want to impact Michael in a negative way. You have to be upfront. You cannot try to solicit clients. We will build you here. We have enough of a business. We want you because we see the potential that you have. We'll regrow you. And not only that, what these guys did, and I wish I was in a financial position to do this, they said, we'll match what you incomed last year. We'll match it. And that way you won't have the financial burden of worrying about rebuilding your clientele and worrying about being sneaky about your clientele. Now, did a ton of clients follow him? Absolutely. Of course, he's a great guy. He's a great hairdresser. So a lot of clients did follow him. But he didn't have that pressure of trying to sneak and build and follow my Instagram account. It's like, come on, the more people are trying to get their clients to follow their Instagram account, if they weren't doing it in the past, they're trying to build it up so they can make their big announcement. We're not stupid. And, it's very hard to maintain a clientele. It's very hard to keep a clientele. But what we do look for is ethics. We want our team to be ethical, and we expect a degree of community and ethics from the industry. And that's where I have real problems with these people that are constantly leeching. So then yesterday, this is long, I'm sorry. Yesterday, somebody reached out to me, or 2 days ago, on my Instagram, who I didn't know, but she was one of the salon owners that this person had been trying to solicit their team from. And she reached out and she explained to me. Now, I'm Canadian, so I don't know what all the weird things you guys do in the States are, but apparently there is some organization called Destroy the Hairdresser that it's like the stupid leading the stupid. So these people are paying for coaching by a bunch of douchebags who are trying to be edgelords, I guess. And I kind of recall hearing that there was some drama about them like last year or something. I don't really know because I don't get involved in that kind of stuff because I don't need a coach because I am the coach. I am your coach. But I'm too old to be involved in industry drama. I'm just out here trying to preach that positivity, which obviously you can tell. But anyways, apparently it's this group of dicks who are, coaching people to be unapologetic in their business and to try to get them to change certain mindsets. But I'll tell you the mindset that I have changed over the years, because I used to be a total dick. And now I think I'm a nicer person. What you see today is not how I deal with my staff. What you see right now, this is not how I am. This is me just talking to you guys, stream of consciousness. But the way I am with my team as a 57-year-old man, I always say that in my videos because I want you guys to say, holy shit, that dude's 57. Like, that's the dream. He's like, what's his secret? But the way I am today, after many ups and downs and surviving through some pretty, I've survived a couple of walkouts, I've been through it all, is I'm a much calmer, nicer, gentler person, only because me being angry and aggressive and all of those things doesn't make any kind of a difference other than just stressing me out. And I don't want to be stressed out. I want peace in my life. I want to provide an environment to my team that they find nurturing. I'm definitely not as engaged as I used to be, but I'm also not cracking the whip the way I used to be, right? Like, it's not my way or the highway. I embrace the individual. I try to figure out what kind of career path they want, and then I try to allow people within my walls to lead the fantasy life that they always wanted to lead, hopefully through hairdressing. That's my goal for people. I always tell my team, I tell my students, I want my ceiling to be your floor. I want you to succeed. I'm not one of these salon owners that gets upset if my staff is better than me or if my staff is more successful than me. I freaking love it. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of the people that I've developed to be better than me. My God, like, that's why I'm teaching them everything I know as their foundation. So my ceiling is their floor. That's who I am as a salon owner. So no, I don't operate from a place of fear. What I do is I operate from a place of trying to contribute to my local industry, trying to be a positive influence, and not trying to have a bunch of people impacted. Our business is bad enough. Our business is hard enough that you took that one heavy hitter out of that salon by offering them, a $2,000 signing bonus or a $10,000 signing bonus. You took that person out of that business. That might have been the only thing keeping that salon afloat. You might chain reaction, cause lawsuits, bankruptcy. I'll tell you, when my business was in tough shape, my relationship was in trouble. When we were going through our biggest financial challenges, my relationship with my wife is trouble. So then you're contributing to potential relationship problems, which could then potentially lead to divorce, which could then lead to kids being shuttled around between two parents that don't live together anymore. There's a lot of shit that can go on by you soliciting from that salon. Am I being dramatic? Yes. But am I being realistic? Ask any smaller salon owner without a staff of 40. Ask that salon owner with a staff of 6. What happens when one people leave, or maybe 2, because people often leave with another person. If you get 2 people to leave from a 6-chair salon, you've just taken 30% of their staff. You're a piece of shit, because that might be it for that salon owner. You might cause that salon owner's bankruptcy. And no, I don't play those games. I'm going to compete for the salon down the street's clients. I want all their clients. This is where I'm going to be aggressive. I want the clients, but I don't want your staff. I'll develop my own staff. I can teach anybody to do hair. That's why I hire Nice, and I teach people to do hair, and then we build up a book. And that's called a business. That's a real business. That's why I've survived for 27 years, and I don't rely on other staff to feed me, my team. So, you suck.